everybody. Here we are. This is my official game room. This is like the first time I've really shown it off at all. And I'm gonna go. Here's everything that's hooked up. And I'm gonna give you guys a look at my MAME machine, arcade machine that I made myself. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because these things are very popular right now because of stuff like the NES Classic. All these plug and play things are coming around. And let me stop where I'm at. Let me show you guys. I had already turned it on as I started the video, and this is how it goes. With the mala hooked up to this thing, it's gonna go straight into the game. That's the way this whole thing is designed. It's not this computer doesn't really function much as a computer anymore. Sorry about the glare there. And you do see a little bit of the typical computer stuff at first, but again, this is I had just turned this bad boy on. It takes a minute for it to load up. All that fun stuff. Again, this computer was new in like 2002, 2003, 04 at the very latest. So it's definitely an older model. See the little mala screen? Again, I haven't touched a single button. Boom, there it goes. And it is on, and it'll get on to playing the videos and everything, but I'll get into that in a minute. But again, what I was saying is, because the NES Classic and all these plug and play type devices, retro games have really gotten real popular of late, which, understandable. And I'm not going to talk people out of buying stuff like that if you want to, because it's very simple, to go. You literally just have to plug it in and play. I mean, you can't get much easier than that. But I wanted to make this video because you can do better ones than that for much, much, much cheaper, folks. And the reason I say that is if you have one of these older computers lying around your house, which I'm sure a lot of you do, that's the basis of what you need. You need one of these computers, a computer, that is at least USB capable, with Windows XP. That's all you need. And then you need this little bad boy here, which is it's an adapter that you plug into the USB port, and it'll allow you to use your Xbox 360 controllers to play these games, which is huge. And then again, you just need a TV that has VGA compatibility, so you can hook it up to it. So I'm gonna assume that you have the computer already, that you have the computer, and that you have a newer TV that has VGA capabilities. If you have those two things right there, that is all you need to buy. Or if you have an Xbox 360 controllers around. And this thing here, I looked it up today, you can get it for under $20. So what I am telling you, folks, is $20 and your time. And you can make an arcade machine that is much better than anything you can buy at the store. I think I have built here myself the cheapest arcade machine that you're probably going to find. Again, this is the only purchase that I had to make. And I know everybody's talking about Raspberry Pi and all that other stuff, and I'm not, knocking any of that stuff at all. But I made this machine for less than $20. And now I'm going to show you guys all that it can do. And I want to point out that one of the advantages of playing with an emulator-based system like this for these retro games is I am able to put in all the Game Genie cheats and Game Shark cheats for the games that had them, and it gives you a whole new experience in playing these games that I could be wrong. Maybe on the NES Classic you can put in those codes, but I have not heard anybody say that you can. Where on my machine, you can play with the cheats on. And again, I'm playing everything with a Xbox 360 controller here. All the controlling you see, I'm doing with the 360 controller. And let me just go into one and show you guys what I'm talking about here. Just to give you guys a little view of how it works. Try good old Mike Tyson's Punch Out. You can see, there it is. Everything how it's supposed to be. If the camera angle is a little funny, it's because again, I'm not recording off the screen. I have a camera in front of the screen. But when I make future videos of this, I will actually be recording the game footage without the use of the camera. I just wanted to do it for the sake of this video for you guys today. Now, I am actually good at this game, but I just wanted to, show you guys. The cheats are on, so look, he can't hurt me. My hearts don't go down, and I also can get infinite stars after you get your first one. You don't start out with infinite, and I think it resets every round. There he goes. I got one. See, now the number one by the star will never go down. So I can just keep nailing them with that. Which for a guy like Glass Joe is a little unfair, obviously. He's not ready for the kind of onslaught that I can give him. But I will say this, this game, even with all the cheats on and everything, does not make it a sure thing. It doesn't. And I'll just go ahead and exit out of that. And here my arcade machine is firing up. This is the first screen you see when my computer fires up here. There's actually music playing with this video in the background, but I actually have it muted because it's a Guns N' Roses song, and I don't want any copyright, issues on this video. And so, unfortunately, I am not going to be playing any of the music for any of the systems that you're going to find on my machine. First and foremost, let me go through all the different systems that you're going to find on my machine. First here, this is Arcade Classics, which is all things that I am running off the MAME emulator. These are all the ROMs that I could get to work on that emulator. And then we have Arcade Classics 2, which is, these are games that are running off the Nebula emulator. Then a lot of the stuff that you'll find on here is like Capcom games and Neo-Geo games. They tend to be a little bit, newer, mid 90s, late 90s type games, stuff that for whatever reason I couldn't get to run on the other MAME emulator, because that's one of the things you're going to come across with these types of machines. It's a lot of trial and error. And then Mikey's Ultimate Fighting Game here. This is Mugen, or Mugen, however you want to call it, which it is an amazing 2D fighting game. If you don't know anything about it, it's something you literally have to program everything in from the ground up. The game just comes with the basic core, elements to make your own Street Fighter type, fighting game. But you have to go and find the characters, the stages, the music, everything. So it is a completely unique fighting game, and I just call mine Mikey's Ultimate Fighting Game. And my daughter likes that one a lot. And then we have Atari 2600, and I don't know what more I can say about the 2600 than what everybody already knows. We have the Atari 7800, which both of these two are running off the same emulator. I just split them up for category type reasons. Then we have the original NES, and then we have a Game Boy, and inside a Game Boy I have the original black and white Game Boy. There's Game Boy Color games, and all the way up to Game Boy Advance. So that one emulator is basically running those three types of Game Boy games. So that's pretty cool. And then we have the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx 16. This was actually my newest addition to my system. And then Horror Battle, which is really a TerrorDrome. If you guys have heard of that game, it's a fan-made horror fighting game with like Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers and stuff in it. And so I have, not the full version of it, I have a demo of it where, you can play with some of the characters, and, it's pretty cool. But I put it in here. So these are the, 13 different, categories for my arcade machine. And here, click on Arcade Classics. And you can see that I have a different video set up for not every game that I have on the system, but a lot of the games that you can find to play on here. The thing with the Mala front end, which that's what is running all of this, it's a front end that I highly recommend because it's not overly complicated. There are a lot fancier, things out there like Hyperspin, but I found them to be beyond my capabilities. I'm not top-notch like computer programming, genius. I'm just a self-taught person, and that's why I recommend, doing this. If I can do it, you guys can do it too. I mean, it took me quite a while to put this machine together. It was a lot of work. I would say at least a year, maybe longer, really, getting this thing up and running. But anyways, let me go through the arcade classics. Aero Fighters, Afterburner 2, Alien Invaders, Arc Rivals, Baseball Stars 2, Batman, Battle Rangers, Black Tiger, Blades of Steel, Castle of Dracula, Caveman Ninja, Centipede, Champion Wrestler, Championship Boxing, Chinese Hero, Chopper, City Bomber, Commando, Contra, Cosmic Avenger, Crime City, Crime Fighters, Crowns Golf, Dig Dug 2, Donkey Kong, Double Dragon 2, Double Dragon 3, Double Dribble, Final Fight, Final Lap 3, Frogger, Galaga 88, Galaxian, Galaxy Warriors, Gauntlet 2, two Ghostbusters, real Ghostbusters game I have for 2 and 3 players, Ghosts and Goblins, G.I. Joe, Golden Axe 2, Gyrus, Hook, Ikari Warriors 3, Joust 2, Killer Instinct, King of Boxing, Legendary Wings, the original Mario Brothers, Mat Mania, Mega Man Arcade, Metal Slug, Metal Slug 4, Metal Slug 5. And with these Metal Slug games, I have other ones on the other emulator, but for whatever reason, these ones run better on this emulator and the other ones run better on that one. So that's why it is that way. But I do have more of the Metal Slug games. Missing in Action, Moonwalker, Michael Jackson Moonwalker, Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, Ms. Pac-Man, NBA Jam, Ninja Warriors, Outrun, Prisoner of War, Pac-Man, Paperboy, Pitfall 2, Popeye, Punch-Out, Raiden, Rally Bike, Rampage, Red Baron, Renegade, Road Blaster, RoboCop 2, Sailor Moon, Shadow Warriors, Shinobi, Silent Dragons, Skull and Crossbones, Smash TV, Splatterhouse, Spy Hunter 2, Star Force, Street Fighter, Street Fighter 2, Superman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, The Simpsons, again 2 and 4 player versions of the same game, Thunder Dragon, Thunder Zone, Time Pilot, Vigilante, WWF WrestleFest, X-Men, Xenophobe, and Zaxxon. Now, I tried to get a lot more games than what I ended up getting. As you can see down at the bottom, it says all games, and it has the number out of. I have 103 games on this system, and sometimes you just can't get certain games to work, and for whatever reason, I would download, as many different versions of a certain game as I could, when I would have trouble getting one to work, So if there's anything I'm missing, it's probably because I couldn't get it to work. And you guys will run into that kind of thing with these machines, So that might be one of the advantages of getting something like the NES Classic, because it's, it's going to work. But again, you're going to be a lot more limited. Like this thing can do 10 times more than any of those plug-and-play machines can do. And all these games that I have here, they all work, fantastic, perfect. I have eliminated things that I've found problems with. So again, we go back to the, main menu, and then go into Arcade Classics 2. And you can see it's got its own video here, and it's a different video from the other one. I got 1941, 1944, 19XX, Aliens vs. Predator, Area 88, Art of Fighting 2, Bowling, Cadillacs and Dinosaur, Captain Commando, Carrier Air Wings, Dungeons & Dragons 1, Dungeons & Dragons 2, Dynasty Wars, Football Frenzy, Forgotten Worlds, King of Dragons, King of Monsters, Knights of the Round, Magic Sword, Magician Lord, Marvel Superheroes, Marvel vs. Street Fighter, Mercs, Metal Slug 2, Metal Slug 3, NAM 1975, Neo Drift, Ninja Masters, Overtop, Prehistoric Isle, Polestar, Robo Army, Samurai Showdown 4, Stakes Winner 2, Street Hoops, Strider, Tecmo World Soccer 96, The Punisher, Thrash Rally, Top Hunter, Turfmaster Golf, UN Squad, Vampire Saver, Willow, X-Men Children of the Atom. And as you can see, this system has 46 games on it. And then these are all running off the Nebula emulator again. And again, these games tend to be, for the most part, a little bit more advanced than the ones that are running off the other emulator. I'm not going to go into Mikey's Ultimate Fighting Game again, because that is Mugen, and I could devote hours just on that. And if you guys are interested in what I'm doing here, and you're okay with me expanding my channel, then I will go in depth with a lot of the stuff that is on this, because again, I have hours and hours of potential videos that I can make from this machine, and with that game in particular. But again, it works fine and everything. Atari 2600, go into Atari. You can see, got my own little Atari type video running here. And I have 27 games on the Atari 2600. Adventure, Asteroids, Berserk, Combat, Tank Plus, Commando Raid, Defender, Demon Attack, Death from Above, Dig Dug, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Enduro, Ghostbusters, Halloween, Haunted House, Jungle Hunt, Mega Mania, Missile Command, Montezuma's Revenge, Pharaoh's Curse, Pitfall, Pitfall 2, Pole Position, Raiders of the Lost Ark, River Raid, Space Invaders, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Warlords, and Yar's Revenge. Now obviously the Atari 2600 is the least advanced of all the games that you'll find on my arcade system here, but myself, I grew up with the Atari. It was the first video game system that I ever owned. So, you know, it always has a special place in my heart. And, you know, and they do have a beautiful little innocent charm to them. And I could go on and on about them. But, you know, save that for another video if you guys are interested. The Atari 7800. I have 24 games for the 7800. Again, own unique video. Alien Brigade, Asteroids, Choplifter, Commando, Dark Chambers, Desert Falcon, Dig Dug, Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., Food Fight, Galaga, Hat Trick, Ikari Warriors, Impossible Mission, Karateka, the original Mario Brothers, Ms. Pac-Man, One-on-One Basketball, Pole Position 2, Robotron 2084, Tank Command, Tower Toppler, Winter Games, Exevious, and I like the Atari 2600. The 7800 is also special in my heart, and I could go on, and I probably will at some point about this particular system. Move on to the old classic, the NES. Again, own video. If you really want, you can put a video to each one of these games. I tried. I couldn't quite figure it out. Again, I do not claim to be any sort of expert on this. I'm just a ham and egger like everybody else. And this is what I created. Anyways, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, I have 110 games here on the NES, which quite a bit more than 30. You know, if you do the math on that. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, another Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, a third Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, Al Unser Jr. Turbo Racing, Back to the Future 2 and 3, Baseball Simulator 1000. Battletoads and Double Dragons, Blades of Steel, Captain America and the Avengers, Captain Planet and the Planeteers, Castlevania, Castlevania 2, Castlevania 3, Chippendales Rescue Rangers, Cobra Command, Contra 2, Contra Force, Darkwing Duck, Dick Tracy, Donkey Kong 3, Donkey Kong Classics, Donkey Kong Jr., Double Dragon 2, Double Dragon 3, Dragon's Lair, DuckTales, DuckTales 2, Excitebike, Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3, Friday the 13th, Gauntlet, Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, G.I. Joe, Godzilla, Godzilla 2, Goonies 2, Gremlins 2, Gunsmoke, Home Alone 2, Ice Hockey, Ikari Warriors 2, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Jaws, Jordan vs. Bird, Jungle Book, Jurassic Park, Karate Kid, Kirby's Adventure, Legend of Zelda 2, Little Mermaid, Mega Man, Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3, Mega Man 4, Mega Man 5, Metroid, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, the new Ghostbusters 2, Nightmare on Elm Street, Ninja Gaiden 2, Ninja Gaiden 3, North and South, Operation Wolf, Pac-Man, Paperboy 2, Pirates, Predator, RC Pro-Am 2, Rambo, Rampage, Ring King, RoboCop, RoboCop 2, The Simpsons, Bart vs. the World, The Simpsons, Bartman meets Radioactive Man, Skate or Die 2, Skull and Crossbones, Smash TV, Spy Hunter, Spy vs. Spy, Street Fighter 2010, Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Pitfall, Super Spy Hunter, Tailspin, Tecmo Bowl, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, the Manhattan Project, Tetris, Tiny Toon Adventures, Wizards and Warriors, Wizards and Warriors 3, and Yo-Noid. Oh, it's a lot to get out. But I believe this is the system that I have the most games on my machine there. I haven't actually added it all up to see how many games I have total. Maybe I will after doing this video. Let's move on to Game Boy. See, good old-fashioned black and white screen there for some of these games. And it looks like I have 45 games for the Game Boy. Bruce Lee, Return of the Legend, Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle, Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle 2, Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle 3, Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle 4, Contra Advance, Double Dragon 2, Double Dragon 3, Double Dragon Advance, Dungeons and Dragons, Extreme Ghostbusters, Final Fantasy V, Gauntlet Dark Legacy, Godzilla Domination, Godzilla the Series, Grand Theft Auto Advanced, the Harry Potter Collection, Super Mario Kart, Metroid, Metroid 2, RoboCop, RoboCop 2, RoboCop vs. Terminator, Solar Striker, Sonic Advance, SpongeBob SquarePants, Battle of something, SpongeBob SquarePants Revenge of something, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario 4, Super Mario Advance, Super Mario Land, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Terminator 2, Tetris, The Legend of Zelda, The Real Ghostbusters, The Sims 2, SpongeBob SquarePants Movie, WWF Superstars, WWF Superstars 2, X-Men Reign of the Apocalypse, X-Men the Official Game, X-Men 2, Wolverine's Revenge. Now, as you can see when I was going through there, some of them I might have said the name a little funny, and that's because I have not played every game on here. I have played them all enough to make sure they work, but I have not sat down and played every single game I have on here yet. Which that's kind of half the fun, if you ask me. I made the thing and it's still figuring out new things. Move on to Super Nintendo. And I have 56 games for the SNES. Alien vs. Predator, Art of Fighting, Back to the Future 2, Beavis and Butthead, Boxing, Legends of the Ring, Bulls vs. Blazers, Castlevania, Dracula X, Clay Fighter 2, Contra 3, The Alien War, Double Dragon 5, Dragon's Lair, Fatal Fury, Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, Final Fight 2, Final Fight 3, Jurassic Park, Killer Instinct, Madden 94, 95, 96, 97, Marvel Superheroes, Mega Man X, Mortal Kombat 2, NBA Jam Tournament Edition, NBA Live 95, 96, 97, 98, Off-Road, Pirates of Dark Water, Sailor Moon, SimCity 2000, Spider-Man and Venom, another one, Spider-Man and X-Men in Arcades, Revenge, I believe it's called, Star Fox, Street Fighter 2, Super Baseball Simulator 1000, Super Castlevania 4, Super Double Dragon, Super Mario All-Stars, and Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, Super Metroid, Super Punch-Out, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Tournament Fighters. That's what this one is. Tournament Fighters. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time, A Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, The Simpsons: Bart Nightmare, Toy Story, X-Men: Mutant Apocalypse, and Zombies Ate My Neighbors. So that is my Super Nintendo collection. And then on to the Nintendo 64. And before I get going on the Nintendo 64, I'm going to say that this is the most advanced system on my machine here. You know, it's the newest, obviously, and as such, the way that the Nintendo 64 was designed, with the way you saved games with the memory card in the controller, makes it very hard, possibly impossible, to save games through an emulator. You know, I've tried and I'm unsuccessful at saving them. You know, maybe some other people out there have figured out how to do it. If you do, you know, please comment, you know, and give me, you know, advice. I would love to hear it. But I think it might be near impossible to save games for the 64. So this is the only system on my machine that I have this issue with. The rest of them, you know, you can do a save state and literally pick up your progress, you know, another time right where you left off, which again makes this a very different edition than what you're used to with most of these games. But anyways, let me go through the list. I have 32 64 games. 32 Nintendo 64 games, I should say. 007 GoldenEye, Castlevania Legacy of Darkness, Cruisin' USA, Donkey Kong 64, Doom 64, Ken Griffey Jr. Slugfest, Knockout Kings 2000, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Madden Football 64, Mario Kart 64, Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, NASCAR 2000, NBA Showtime, NBA on NBC, NFL Blitz 2001, Perfect Dark, Rampage, Rampage 2, Ready to Rumble, Boxing 1 and 2, Resident Evil 2, Star Wars Shadow of the Empire, SimCity 2000, Spider-Man, Star Fox 64, Super Mario 64, Super Smash Bros., Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Toy Story 2, WWF No Mercy. And that is the Nintendo 64. Now let's move on to the Sega Master System, which this was one of my favorite, fun discoveries with my arcade machine, was going back and playing the Master System games, because it's an 8-bit system, the same as the regular NES, but it is far more advanced. Far more advanced. It's a great underappreciated system historically. And I have 33 games for it. I have Aladdin, Aleste, Alex Kidd in Miracle World, Alex Kidd in Shinobi World, Choplifter, Deep Duck Trouble starring Donald Duck, Ghostbusters, Ghouls and Ghosts, Golden Axe Warrior, Golivius, I think that's how you say it, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, James Buster Douglas Knockout Boxing, Kung Fu Kid, Land of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, Montezuma's Revenge, Phantasy Star, Predator 2, Psycho Fox, Rambo First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, RoboCop 3, RoboCop vs. the Terminator, Rocky, Shinobi, Simpsons, Bart vs. the World, Terminator, Tom and Jerry the Movie, Wonder Boy 2, Wonder Boy 3, World Grand Prix, Zaxxon 3D, and Zillion. Yep, that's the Master System. And here we are with the Genesis. And I have Aladdin, Altered Beast, Back to the Future Part 3, Beavis and Butthead, Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra Hard Corps, Double Dragon 2, Double Dragon 3, Fatal Fury, FIFA 98, Road to the World Cup, FIFA 96, Flintstones, Ghostbusters, Golden Axe 2, Golden Axe 3, Greatest Heavyweights, Lion King, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, Midnight Resistance, NHL 95, 96, and 97, Pirates of Darkwater, Populous, Revenge of Shinobi, Shinobi 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2, and 3, Splatterhouse 2, Splatterhouse 3, Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3, Super Thunderblade, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Hyperstone Heist, Test Drive 2, X-Men, X-Men 2, The Clone Wars. Now, as you'll see as I was going through there, it seems like I have, like, take Double Dragon, for example. I have it on most of the systems, and part of the reason why I did that is I grew up with the NES ones mostly, but I also played them on the Game Boy, and I also played it at the arcade every now and again. But the NES ones is the main ones I know. So it was kind of fun to play the games on different systems to get an idea of what the games might be like. So that's why you'll notice some games pop up on different systems, and also a lot of the games I was not familiar with, or I'm not familiar with, and so when it came to getting the ROMs, it was just, well, that one kind of sounds cool, I'll get that one. And that's what you'll probably find yourself doing as well if you make one of these machines. But that's the Genesis. And then we'll move on to the TurboGrafx 16. This was the newest one that I have added to my machine. And as you can see, I don't have a video for this one. And it's because it's the latest one that I had added. So I just didn't really feel the need to go through and make a video for it. But TurboGrafx 16 is a fun little system, I will say that. But let me go through and give you guys the names. It looks like I have 24 games for this TurboGrafx. Blazing Laser, Bloody Wolf, Bonk 3, Bonk's Big Adventure, Bonk's Adventure, Bonk's Revenge, Kaddish, Champions Forever Boxing, Darkwing Duck, Dead Moon, Dragon Spirit, Dragon's Curse, Dungeon Explorer, JJ and Jeff, Legend of Hero Tama, Legendary Axe 2, Legendary Axe 1, Moto Rotor, Newtopia, Newtopia 2, New Adventure Island, R-Type, Splatterhouse, Teo Chase HQ, and Tailspin. And you would see as you look at the games on this list, I don't have them quite as organized as some of the other ones. Again, because this is the latest addition to my machine. And I forgot that I hadn't done it at the time of making this video, to be honest with you. And again, here's the horror battle, which is TerrorDrome, and I could go into that game at length, or if you're interested in what it is, just Google TerrorDrome, and I'm sure there'll be, or put it in YouTube, and you'll get plenty of information on it. But these are the systems that I was able to work, and get going. I tried other ones. I did not have any success with CD-based systems. I tried PlayStation to no avail. I tried Sega Saturn to no avail. I tried Dreamcast to no avail. With the Sega Saturn, because I was a huge Sega Saturn fan growing up. I actually had one, and it was one of my favorite systems, and a very underrated system in the history of video games, if you ask me. But I did get it to work, kind of. Meaning, I actually could play Daytona USA on the Sega Saturn. For the most part, it wasn't great, but I could actually play the game. But I did not include it in my system because it has too many bugs in it, and it would not be an enjoyable experience. And I don't think I could get it to be as organized looking and working like the rest of these ones are. So ultimately I decided to leave it out. And I also worked on the Atari Jaguar. and I had a Jaguar, running a little bit, but same kind of problems that I ran into with Sega Saturn, as it just wasn't going to be running, effectively and properly enough for me to feel confident including it in my arcade machine. But I was playing a little bit of Atari Jaguar, on here. But so those are the games I have and the systems that I have on here, and I appreciate you guys watching this. And if this is something you guys would be interested in, and I'm talking about to my subscribers here, because I know I kind of have my niche here, and I appreciate the niche that I have, but I'm willing to branch out into this with my channel, if this is something that you guys might be interested in. So let me know in the comments, if you feel that you agree with Mikey J Productions, moving into gaming a little bit. I won't be abandoning the Lego or Lego knockoff stuff whatsoever. That will always be a constant. But this is another passion of mine, and so I enjoy sharing with you guys. And like I said, I could create, hours upon hours of footage, and videos, based on this. Much better, higher quality than I'm doing here today. I'm doing it this way here today because I just want to give you guys a brief run through of, my system here. But thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. And continue to like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. And I will see you guys all again soon. Check you later.